Hello, YouTube, fellow motor racing enthusiasts. Greedy me here, bringing you a hot, scorching IndyPro race from Friday, September 29th, 2023. First time really messing around with editing software on YouTube, so hopefully you guys like the progress that I'm making. Anyway, you probably got all the links down below. The one link that I can't suggest enough to you guys is the Twitch link. That's where the live magic happens, guys. That's where I really know what I'm doing. All this stuff, this is all kind of foreign to me, but we're gonna get better at it. Anyway, hopefully you enjoy the race. Had a couple of good buddies of mine in the race with me, and then a fellow Twitch streamer that I've raced in the past and had nothing but good races with in the past. We always seem to end up next to each other on the track, Frank and I. So I don't know what it is. Maybe we just like have the same name and we like hanging out together. I don't know. Anyway, hopefully you enjoy the race and let me know what you think. Cool. An ambitious send by the red car, 2 cars behind me here, creates the only appreciable contact that I was aware of in the entire race. JG looking extremely racy coming down into the hairpin the first time. I'm doing my best to keep up right now. So just to give you guys a little information about how this race came about, I think we were practicing for, of all things, the street stock race, which is going to be at the Nordschleife next week. It'll be the first week of October. And so we were kind of playing around with setups, like just messing around there. And I think we were creeping up on the top of an hour, whatever. And we were, hey, is there any races out there? Does anybody want to do any races out there? And our buddy Dale was like, IndyPro's got like 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 people in there. You got like 4 minutes to register. It's at Sebring. And we were kind of all like, well, okay, sure, what the hell? Let's give it a go. And so me, JG, and Pharrell dogpiled in the last minute. And I'm not sure that any of us got practice other than qualifying in. So I definitely, without a doubt, was just kind of trying to hang on at this point. Like when I do a race like this, if I come into a race really late like this, more often than not, my strategy is to just don't do anything stupid that's going to put you, on the back foot. So if that means just kind of hanging 10 and just not making any large mistakes, then that's what we do. We keep the car moving forward on the track at all times. So that's just a little bit of a flavor to kind of give you an idea of where our headspace was leading into this race. But yeah, the guys up front, killing it. Absolutely killing it. We got Tristan, who's leading right now, leading from Pharrell, our buddy Pharrell, Benjamin. And then our other buddy, JG. in the awesomely painted McLaren tuned livery. It's a really cool live. Yep, the one real big camera directing mistake was right there. You won't see any more of those for the rest of the pop, hopefully. I think I was leading up to this, I was kind of doing the comments one at a time, where I thought, it's probably just going to be better if I watch this race and just let it go. I thought like I could just go in and pick and choose when I was going to comment, but it's probably better off for me as a live streamer to just do what I do, which is to commentate the race. I don't know. I'm going to watch this back. I'll probably delete it and re-record it 17 more times, on a 25-minute video. I should have this video ready by at least the end of 2025, I think. Because I think I've recorded and done and deleted and recorded and deleted so many little bits for this, but I think I've finally come to the conclusion. I have to do what I do. Ooh, JG getting racy on the outside. But this race was spiced the whole way. I know it looks like it's getting a little spread out at this point, but it is pretty much, and maybe not white knuckle, but it's definitely a hard-fought race from the start to the finish. It was quite fun. So oftentimes, though, I find myself playing just like a spoiler role. Like, I knew all of these cars were fast enough to hang with each other. Everybody had very similar pace in qualifying. And so I knew, like, the only way to ruin this race would be to have a gigantic moment. Maybe here, this turn is famous for it, Turning in, trying to carry a little bit too much speed and potentially losing the rear or whatever. And then, having to, grab a big handful of opposite lock and sliding and losing a half a second to a second and getting out of draft is just a death sentence. So you're really just trying to hang on and not make any mistakes that are going to drop you too far back. And learning as you go, learning the limits of the car because of the lack of practice as you go. That's one of the things I really like about a more freewheeling iRacing adventure, like I've been kind of like trying to get back to, like my good old days, like when I first started, where I would just race willy-nilly. Practice be damned. I think there's a certain almost immersion level to that, because real race weekends aren't you don't get hours to practice. You might have 2 1-hour practice sessions, or maybe 3, depending on the situation and the track and how long you're going to be there. But the amount of time that we get to simulate stuff in the sim rig and to try new things is definitely not a reality for most racers. Oh, hey, look, it's a slow guy. And for any of you that have made it this far, yeah, like, holy cow, I got to tell you, I thought that I really honestly thought that my imagination was going to be a limiting factor. And then as I got closer to playing around with YouTube, I realized that it's probably not going to be my imagination that's the withholding factor. It's going to be my inability to process what I want, to make what I want to see happen. And if you saw what just happened, with the little thing that I put on my driver's helmet there, as we were driving in 5th place, might as well be last, was we were driving in 5th place, like trying to catch up. It's pretty evident to me that how do I even say what I'm trying to say cohesively? The tools that I have at my disposal now to play with edit and to just do whatever I want, it's phenomenal. I can't believe how how simple it is. It was shockingly simple to do what I just did. And I know that that's small potatoes and I'm still dipping toes, but just the usability, I think the usability of the program to do something like that, I was pretty shocked at how once you learn where the handlebars are, you know, like just jump on the bike and ride, man. It's easy. I think the trick is finding the handlebars, right? You just have to be able to find the handlebars. Just like a race car. Show me where the handlebars are. I'll make it go fast. I'm not going to spoil who won this race, so we're just going to sit back and watch and relax. I will, maybe I'll give you guys one spoiler. I can assure you it's not this slowpoke in fifth place who's bringing up the rear. It's not me. Man, I was having a really hard time getting out onto that straightaway. I noticed it a couple of times when Frank was chasing me, when I would get in front of Frank. That his entry onto the straight down towards Sunset was just gangbusters compared to mine. It was just he would just reel me in. JG chasing down Tristan right now, looking for a move down the inside into turn one. This is some real nice side-by-side action. At this point, I've watched this video so many times. And I'm back here the whole time going, yeah, fight. I'm too slow. You guys need to fight. I gotta catch back up. Let me get back up here, guys. Come on, hang on. Wait for me. Yeah, I think this is the way to do it. I think it's way better for me to take it at this approach where it's just like more of a live thing. Even though it's not live, I'm just like calling the race as I see it. Because it occurs to me that I can go in, and I think that was my fear, was I would cough or, you know, I'd be doing my normal PED activities and it would be loud, and it occurs to me that I can go in there and just move those volume mixes around just by creating points. And so if I have one of those moments, I can just go in and isolate it. It's just a matter of going back and doing that work. Sorry, you guys don't need me to explain all this. We're watching a really dynamite race between JG, Tristan, and Pharrell and Frank. And then there's me. Wait for me, guys, I'm coming. But the thing is, like, of course, I added that GIF in there, and I put that GIF in there, and I almost said GIF. I put that GIF in there, and I had it chasing my little helmet, you know, as I drove around the track or whatever, and I had it get bigger as it came towards the camera for effect. Like that was really easy to do. It took me, I don't know, once I learned where the handlebars were, it might have taken me 30 seconds to make that happen, right? It was super easy. But my thing is, like I don't know if that's, like, what I want my videos to be, is a bunch of, like, short take, like, meme-y, short attention span theater stuff? Or do we want to do more like this, where it's like I pick a race that I had that was really quite fun and really racy and really fair and even, and just kind of spectate it and talk about it and have it be more like a pure thing, you know? I think I've got some decisions that I need to make in the coming weeks on how I really want to approach this. I kind of like this format. I think it's maybe a bit more natural for me to just get a good working a good working replay that I can just kind of freewheel off of. See, you can see like my entry. I know I was a little bit behind JG there, and I was focused on my car there, even though JG's getting ready to make a pass. I look at my entry compared to their entry in front of me is way pinched going into the turn onto this straight. They're widening their stance on the left-hander to allow them a wider arc on the right-hander, and it's giving them a lot of time, or taking a lot of time away. I don't know what the actual what is. I don't know which way you go with that, man. So as it stands right now, we got Pharrell in the lead, followed by JG, Tristan, me, and then Frisky Frankie. The other Frisky Frankie. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell the part of the story where sorry, we may or may not have overdone a PED there. I'm still kind of waiting on the cough, sorry. Trying to make sure that it doesn't come, because that would be really annoying for a YouTube video. Voiceover, a big old hearty cough. Anyway, I forgot to tell you guys, see how narrow of a track I take through there? I'm just hemorrhaging time. It's like the corner that just, I think, sacrificed my entire race. Kind of sucks. It's like watching films after a game. You realize where you were screwing up and you're powerless to do anything about it, except if you go there next time. Which I don't know if I'll run this race again. Anyway, back to the story at hand. Our buddy Dale that turned us onto this race did not race it with us. And we didn't know that until after we had all signed up. Praise Jeebus for mute buttons, because good lord, I just had the cough fit. But that's going to set me straight for the next however many 8 minutes of race we've got left. It was so fun watching these guys dice. I kept thinking in my mind the whole time like that I was just a camera car out there. I was just out there grabbing footage. I was just grabbing footage for the tubes, man. It's pretty neat seeing them all run nose to tail like that. This is another thing, man. I was kind of hoping that any kind of exposure that IndyPro can get, I don't care where it's from, can't be bad, because these cars, and we were saying it the entire time we were racing. In fact, JG and Pharrell were probably saying it at this very moment as they were about to go side by side through turn one. It's just how much fun that these cars are to race side by side, and how raceable they actually are. When you really get down to it, if you've got some racers around you that are fair and leave this and always leave the space, yeah, like they're great fun. So any exposure this series can get, I think, is good exposure. Please come race with us. I think there's still like a Thursday broadcast race. I think it's Thursday nights. We were just talking about it the other day in the Discord, actually. I think right about now, because I think there was just a small error in front of me, I don't remember what Tristan did or if it was Frank and then Tristan snuck by, but whatever it did, it cost us just a little bit of time to Pharrell and JG. And I remember at this point in the race, I was like, because I was behind Tristan and Frank, I was like, this is your guys' cue to get the hell out of Dodge. Like, this is your opportunity to get out of here. Because I think they were, if they were real close to getting a draft break, if they hadn't actually gotten one. They might actually have gotten one and then started battling and brought us back up into the fold. We have a little wild ride here. We're going to do a little creative video editing as well. Oh no, I lied. I'm not. It's gonna show up way down the road. I forgot I moved everything. Hold on, I forgot to move that piece. Either that or I might have outright deleted it. Maybe not. Maybe it's completely gone. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll show up at the wrong time. And Pharrell and JG are going at it. I love this. Ah, there it is. Well, it's not supposed to be happening while JG and Pharrell are having their battle. This was supposed to be off the screen long before that. But see, what had happened was I put the intro in front of the video from like me talking to the camera, and I moved everything over to the right. I don't know, 30 seconds or however long that intro was. I moved everything over to the right 30 seconds except for that. Whoops. Sorry, we'll pick it up in post, guys. We'll pick it up in post. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna say that from now on when I screw up. But again, that was another thing where I had this idea, like right after we came off that corner, I was like, ooh, I could throw a little slow-mo like shot of those two cars like off of Frank's right rear. His right rear. I could throw a little slow-mo shot in the corner of us doing a little Dukes of Hazzard out there in the dirt. And I had it lined up really well where that came on the screen and like it showed up and you could see it. And then it was gone, and then you had Pharrell and JG's dice was like front and center, so it wasn't being taken away from. But again, like I said, I done screwed up, and I'm already into the voiceover, so there's nothing I can do now. Oh wait, I might be able to move it. Oh no, but then that's just gonna screw up the audio track, right? Because then the audio track's gonna be all screwy. But I bet I could cut and paste that too if I wanted. We'll burn that bridge on another day. Like for right now, like we're just gonna get this out. We're gonna get this out because I've already spent entirely way too much time learning new concepts just to get this one done. So yes, we shall continue. All right, note to self, next time you move the intro, or you move an intro in, you have to Control A it. Make sure you have everything and move it all at once. I wonder if there's a way to link everything. I bet there is. There's probably a way. It looked like there I took a little bit wider of a line. I got a little bit better, but it's still not a great entry. Or sorry, still not a great exit onto the straight. Frankie's still making up a bunch of time on me. I tried to stick with him. I just remember getting really loose on the outside there. The IndyPro does not like it on the slightly wider line. I don't know, bumps, I guess, or whatever, but yeah, and that was the other thing that I missed in the when I just got the raw video data was I missed the pass for the lead. Sorry, guys. But yeah, the brain, the entire time I've been working on this, my brain has been exploding with like the possibilities of all the different things that I can do with what I now have access to. Things that I thought were going to be out of my reach. Just because 20 years ago when I worked on programs like these, they were like, they were not as intuitive. They were nowhere near as intuitive. I'm not trying to say that I had to walk uphill in the snow to and from work and school and stuff, but like, I feel like last night was the biggest mind explosion that I've had in a long time, and that was why. It was because I feel like a lot of the things that I have in my mind I would be capable of doing. So the possibilities I feel like are pretty endless, and I'm pretty excited about it. And JG's thundering home to the win right here. This race is going to end as we cross the start-finish line here. A little slip up from Tristan, and I stole the fourth spot on the last turn there. But JG had a hell of a race there, man. All right, I think I need to stop talking and wrap this video up. But yeah, do all the buttons and stuff, guys. If you've made it all the way to the end of the race, this stuff's just going to do nothing but get better, and I can't wait to do more. So thank you guys again for the support, and looking forward to the next time. Later, guys. Great race, JG!